Drew Barrymore has a problem. She can't stop touching people inappropriately. And she tends to make her guests uncomfortable. She has this habit of grabbing people, caressing people while live on air on her show. And I assume most of her guests are too polite to say anything. Martha Stewart was not. She was the only one who stood up to her and told her to back off on air, which she deserved.
Here, let's watch this clip here.
What makes you soft and gooey, though?
What makes me?
That's such a why is she biting her finger? Already, it's like so bad.
Yeah, what soft and gooey treatment when you're treated like a lady.
Nice. It's nice.
She's petting her.
Someone comes in and
she's petting Martha Stewart.
I know.
She literally, Martha Stewart literally pushed Drew Barrymore back on the couch. Wait, how did Drew Barrymore apologize in the?
No, she said, "I know."
Wait.
Although
she's like laying on.
The way it's going with men, though, Martha, I'm not so sure anymore. He's dressed inspired.
Okay.
So Drew Barrymore is hitting on Martha Stewart.
I think this
on
is,
air.
I think it's drugs.
That's I was gonna say, like, this is the need to feel tactile feels like drugs to me.
Drew Barrymore is on drugs.
She's on the Xannies.
I bet she's got one of them hipster Hollywood gurus that's got like this little concoction for her, so she's just buzzing all the time. That's my prediction.
She's taking the uppers and the downers at the same time, a little bit of speedball right before you go to work, and she's like,
well, no, you know what this reminds me of? Honestly, just a lot more a put together version of is with Kamala, right? So if she's already got anxiety and is taking medication for that, and maybe she has one glass of wine, that's going to make her act like this.
Well, since you mentioned Kamala, we should resurrect that extremely cringy clip of Drew Barrymore caressing Kamala.
Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
I don't get it. How did she not win, guys?
Why she didn't win? Maybe she's microdosing MDMA. Maybe that's what it is.
There, you know, it's funny you say that because there's an episode of Family Guy where Peter takes MDMA and he can't stop like feeling fuzzy coats and stuff while he's DJing.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, oh, it's just like this.
She's like, wow, her skin feels so.
Wow, it's like 5 gum.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, somebody said drinking. Her words seem pretty, like, however gooey her words are.
What makes you gooey? And then this where she bites her finger.
Yeah.
What
You
is
don't do
that?
that?
It's tactile. I'm telling you, it feels to me, again, I can't know. I'm not accusing her of anything, but she seems a little fried.
You know, this all happened ever since she got roasted for frolicking in the rain. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
She was somewhat normal, a little bit under the radar, and then one bad TikTok of her frolic. And everyone knows you're not supposed to frolic in the rain. That's a big no-no.
I
You can't
mean,
do that.
if you're a white woman, you are not allowed to
No.
frolic in the rain.
I mean, why?
How dare you be
Earth?
so carefree?
In what world do you think that you have the ability to frolic?
It's a
It
white
makes me mad,
privilege.
Mary. It makes me really mad.
Frolicking in the rain is a white privilege, obviously. Well,
Also-
Drew Barrymore just had Cynthia Erivo on her show. And obviously on the Wicked press tour, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo have been very touchy-feely with each other.
Yes.
To the point where it makes viewers uncomfortable. They don't really understand if this is some kind of lesbianic
Is that a side effect of
situation. Maybe. They need warmth. They need to huddle together
I've
for
heard-
warmth because they're both on Ozempic.
I've heard some.
It's also a product of a space where there are no male interviewers because
Right.
touchy-feely male interviewer has a totally different
I don't think that
context.
Jimmy Fallon would be caressing the hand of any female guest on his show, or any guest on
Look
his
at Louis
show.
C.K.
Ever.
He got a little bit touchy-feely, and then they canceled him.
Well, no, the problem with Louis C.K. is that he was actually blocking the door while
Wait,
not touching them.
I thought that the blocking the door thing was...
Well, at least
was
one
disproved.
person said that he was blocking the door. But Drew Barrymore has been warned to back off of her guests after touchy interviews. She hopes that people will become, quote, more comfortable with physical touch after sparking mixed reactions with her intimate interviews.
Dude, you can't do that. You just spent 3 years during the COVID pandemic telling everyone they have to get 6 feet apart. It doesn't work like that, right?
Maybe that's what it is. She's the guy making up for lost time.
Like, but no, like, jokes aside, there's a whole generation that grew up with this, and now it's like that's their worldview. Like, do not stand close to me. Like,
in the
it's
post
weird.
Me Too era, are you really gonna risk it?
I mean, think about old Gen Alpha and young Gen Z, right? There was Me Too they went through, so you can't hit on women anymore. You can't show affection. And then there's a global pandemic, so you can't even get near anyone, right? Drew Barrymore, I mean, maybe that's not your audience,
Well,
but...
I see that she has a predominantly female audience, so she cultivates this faux sense of intimacy on her show where she's sitting on the couch with her guest very uncomfortably close, and she's petting her dog, who is also on the show.
Why is her dog there?
Her dog is always on the show. She has an emotional support animal on the show. If you need to pet something, pet the dog.
It's
I'm
not like
sorry, but like all of this, we can make fun of it all you want. Whatever producer came up with this understands the audience so well. Like, this is gold for them.
So it says, in a conversation with Wicked star Cynthia Erivo, Drew Barrymore asked her if it's true that her co-star Ariana Grande is as touchy as she is. They frequently held hands during interviews for the musical. Drew Barrymore said, "I'm so touchy. People have to warn me. They're like, back off a little bit. I'm single. I'm not dating anyone. I don't have that in my life. But I don't know how I would ever hold back from holding hands and hugging and snuggling."
I heard Harvey Weinstein said the same thing.
I was just thinking, maybe she should have gone to those classes that Tiger Woods went to.
So her excuse is that she's single and
ready to snuggle. She's single and ready to snuggle.
So she gets an excuse to like touch people on her show. We have a 20 from Therev295. I love that the 28 years later trailer didn't really spoil anything in the film's plot wise. It's a good old fashioned 90s era movie trailer. I'm shooketh that Mary was scared of the original movie though.
That means it's a good movie.
I think it just means that I can't handle suspense.
Listen, if this is supposed to be a horror...
Imagine Drew Barrymore, like, watching this movie. She's like...
She's
No, but if
grabbing
if
everyone
this is
by the
supposed to be a
wrist.
horror, thriller, apocalypse movie, I'm glad to know it's making people uncomfortable. Like, shouldn't that be the goal?
accomplishing its goal.
Yeah, so...
I mean,
So-
that's the problem. Drew Barrymore is neither of those things, and she's still making people uncomfortable.
Cynthia Erivo clearly didn't have an issue with this, though.
She's like, why isn't she touching me? Like, this is like the day before Drew Barrymore got the notice about how she can't touch people anymore. Now a person's going to come to be interviewed, and she's not going to touch them. They're going to feel offended.
Well, it says she and Barrymore held hands during their conversation about physical intimacy, and Cynthia Erivo said, "I'm the welcoming Capricorn that's like, I love you, we can touch." She also argued that people are too afraid of physical connection because they assume it can only be romantic. How we communicate sometimes is by physical touch. That's sometimes how Ariana Grande and I communicate.
It really just seems like she's a hippie.
And Drew Barrymore added, "If we could all be more comfortable with physical touch, I would like that world."
Wait, wasn't there like...
You and you alone,
Did you
Drew.
see that thing on Twitter going around where it was like, I think Josie reposted, it was like, it's like, we need to normalize dudes cuddling. And she was like, dudes, do you cuddle with the bros or is it gay?
It's definitely
It's
gay. I don't think that's a normal thing for dudes
I
to
think
do.
like if you're on Mount Everest and there's a tragic accident with your hiking expedition and the only way to survive is to share warmth, that's like the one exception that dudes can cuddle. Other than that, if it's not for your survival, you shouldn't be doing it.
I don't think that's considered cuddling. I think that's huddling together for warmth so you don't die.
I mean, call it
Yeah.
what you want it, but I'm just saying.
Call
like,
it what you want.
like, I think that's the only
so
exception.
like you're like literally
Nah.
like holding on to
Nah.
someone for dear life and you're shaking like
even if it's a life or death situation, bros are not going to be snuggling.
sorry bro, guess you're just gonna have to die.
Brett will be like responsible for the whole group's tragic accident 'cause he's like, guys, no, I don't do that stuff.
Like sorry guys, like, it's like I guess you're gonna have to die.
Yeah. The only other time that Drew Barrymore has done this and kind of got called out was last year when she interviewed Oprah Winfrey. Oprah audibly gasped when they sat close to one another, and someone commented, "Drew does not have any personal space and I'm uncomfortable." And there was also that clip of her forcing The Rock to carry her
What if it's
on
not,
air.
What if it's not
to
the touching?
pick her up in a fireman's carry.
Yeah.
What if it's not
I
the
forgot about
touching?
that one.
That was insane.
I forgot about that one.
What if she just smells bad?
Drew Barrymore?
And that's what it is. When she gets real close, it's not the touching and the shoulder pats. It's the stench.
Maybe.
Could be. Well, there was like a video.
There's like also dog hair all over the couch.
Oh, what if that's it?
Because the
I'm
dog
telling
is
you
everywhere.
right now, the dude, like whoever came up with the idea for her to have the pet on stage is just
Dude, listen,
genius.
if
her audience has to love that shit.
I mean, I could see it. Like if you guys had like a little chihuahua that had like a plate on its
that's like-
back with
that
a bottle
looks
of
like-
tequila that would run in, and it's like party time. The dog is here. You know,
That
that'd
was
be cool.
just like a golden retriever who's just hanging out all the time. So she has her dog on the show. If you need to pet something, wouldn't it be the dog and not your guest?
You would think.
Like, boundaries.
Maybe she couldn't find the dog. She's like, "Where's that dog?" Oh well.
Yep.
And if this is what she's doing on camera, I can't imagine the way she's behaving off camera.
But it really does just seem like she's a hippie, and she's like all about peace and love and just taking it. Like I expect to see this type of woman at like a music festival selling me like dream catchers.
There are definitely
know?
rumors about Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo secretly being in a relationship.
Why?
Is it giving you those vibes?
No, I
not
think
me.
Ariana Grande looks. I don't know what's going on. Hope she's okay, but she does not look healthy. From like the
Yeah.
press tour I've seen, Cynthia
neither-
just seems insufferable. Like she only cares about herself. Ariana just doesn't seem like she's in a good place.
That came up on the show yesterday. Well, I think that you're right. The Ozempic theory is sort of adding up for me.
Dude,
They're both so skinny that they have no body warmth, so they have to hold hands during their interviews to keep warm.
Well, then they should love going on Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, they would love that.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.